So how is it going, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 video. And today I'm coming at you guys with 5 awesome robot creations in Fallout 4. So a lot of these are kind of loosely based around certain TV show characters, certain kind of other games and stuff like that, and even one actually based around Fallout itself. And this is sort of like a series that I want to do where I get you guys involved in on it. So what I want you guys to do is leave some comments down below with some awesome robot builds that you may have. Maybe it's on your favorite TV show, maybe a movie or something like that. Leave, your complete robot build down below in a comment, and of course name what it is, and you may be featured in the next episode. And if this is something that you guys do want to see in the future, as some sort of a weekly series or some form of a series, be sure to let me know by leaving a like down below. Your support, of course, is always greatly appreciated on the channel. But anyway, jumping straight into this. Now, we do want to give credit where it's due. A lot of these are coming from the Fallout Reddit, as well as various other YouTubers and stuff like that. So make sure you check out all the links down below for credit for these builds. But starting off here today, we have Ahab himself. Now, Ahab is pretty much that big badass brute kind of robot that you come across near towards the end of the Automatron DLC, basically where Jezebel is located. And basically, to actually recreate this in Fallout 4, the first thing you'll need is Ahab's head. So you want to make sure that you kind of play through the Automatron DLC and actually killed Ahab and looted the head off his robot body. Now from there, of course, you can approach your robot workbench, and we're going to start this off from sort of like the top to the bottom. So starting off with the head, of course, we have the sentry head to begin with. Then of course apply the Ahab's helm in the bottom section. Moving on to the torso here, of course, starting off once again, this is going to be the sentry torso. Then for the front torso armor, you're going to be selecting the Warmonger spiked plate. And then for the rear torso armor, it's going to be the same again, being the Warmonger spiked plate. Now moving on to the arms, to start things off, we have the left arm, and of course, once again, it's going to be the basic sentry left arm. For the left arm armor, it's going to be the barbaric serrated plate, and then for the left hand weapon, it's going to be the heavy flamer gun. Moving on to the right hand here, once again, the sentry right arm. For the right arm armor, it's going to be a little bit different this time, being the Warmonger spiked plate. And then for the right hand weapon, it's the exact same, being the heavy flamer gun. And then for the final parts of the build, we have the legs, once again being the sentry legs there. For the waist armor, it's going to be mid-curl spiked plate. For the left leg, it's going to be the Warmonger staggering plate. For the right leg, it's going to be the Warmonger staggering plate, and then for the rear leg armor, it's going to be the primal plate as well. So that is pretty much it. I mean, from there, of course, you can go ahead and paint Ahab how you actually want it to look like, just in case you guys do want to change the color of him. Typically, I would go with gray or black just to sort of match up with Ahab himself. But nonetheless, Ahab is an absolutely badass robot and definitely one worth recreating in Fallout 4. And here is where things start to get a little bit different, and I want you guys to bear in mind once again, these are loosely based because Fallout 4 does have its limitations, of course, but the next two are Bender and Clamps from Futurama.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go build my own theme park with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the park.
Of course, if you have watched Futurama before, then you will know who these characters are, and these were highly requested. It's in a lot of Reddit posts kind of requesting these, and somebody actually managed to come up with what is pretty much the closest you're going to get to a recreation in Fallout 4. So starting off with Bender, and for this one, it's actually fairly simple. To begin with, you're going to be selecting the RoboBrain torso, and then for the front armor of the torso, you're going to be selecting a factory armor, and then for the rear one as well, you're also going to be selecting the factory armor as well there. The next thing is the head. So once again, you are going to be selecting the Protectron head here. A lot of people do like to go with the Assaultron head for Bender, but I think that it definitely looks better, or at least more like Bender, with the Protectron head and then with the Gloom helm as well for the bottom section. You can see here now, here is the Gloom helm, and it sort of gives off more of a long face look, similar to Bender, I guess, in Fallout 4. Next up, we have the arms now, which of course we're going to be starting off here with the left arm. And both of the arms are pretty much the exact same. So for the left arm, you're going to be selecting the RoboBrain left arm to begin with. For the left arm armor, you're going to be leaving that completely default. You don't even need to touch any of that. And then for the weapon, you're going to be selecting the Protectron left hand claw, as you guys can see there by the gameplay. And then for the left hand armor, you're going to be selecting once again the factory armor. And it's pretty much the same for the right arm. So select the RoboBrain right arm to begin with. Leave the right arm armor default, don't even touch that. For the right arm weapon, you're going to be selecting the Protectron left hand claw again. And then for the right hand armor, once again, it's going to be the factory armor. And for the final touch, just go to the legs and select Protectron legs. You don't even need to add any armor onto this, unless you really want to. I think it looks a little bit more like Bender without any armor on it, but that is entirely down to you. And of course, with the finishing touches there, just go ahead and add a grey paint, of course, to match up with the same sort of color, and then add your own voice to your own liking, depending on which sort of, voice that you do want to go with. And there you have your very own Bender, pretty much recreated to the best of your ability in Fallout 4.
Oh, no room for Bender, huh? Fine. I'll go build my own lunar lander with blackjack and hookers.
And now we move on to Clamps himself. This one, once again, being a fairly simple build. And starting off with the head, you're going to be selecting the Assaultron head. For the bottom section, you're going to be selecting the hydraulic frame. And now moving on to the torso, once again, you're going to be selecting the Assaultron torso. For the front torso armor, you're going to be selecting the actuated frame. And then once again, for the rear armor, it's going to be the actuated frame once again. Moving on to the arms here. For the left arm, it's going to be the RoboBrain left arm. Then for the left hand weapon, it's going to be the vice grip, as you guys can see there by the gameplay. For the left arm armor, it's going to be once again the actuated frame. And then for the left hand armor, it's going to be again the actuated frame. And it's pretty much the same for the right arm. So once again, it's going to be the RoboBrain right arm. It's going to be for the right hand weapon, the vice grip, right hand armor, actuated frame, and then right hand armor, once again, actuated frame there. And now for the legs, once again, selecting the Assaultron legs here. For the waist section, you're going to be selecting the mid primal plate. For the left leg, you're going to be selecting the factory armor, and then for the right leg, you're going to be selecting the factory armor as well. For the finishing touches, I do suggest sort of like the yellow paint because it kind of matches up as best as you can in Fallout to the same color of a clamp. So although it's not an exact match, it's the closest color you're going to get to actually getting that same color. As for the voice, that's entirely down to you. Once again, you can modify this in other ways as well if you want to go ahead and kit it up with some better weapons or something. But this is the recreation of clamps in Fallout 4. Coming up next, we have Wally. Yet another highly requested robot build, and a lot of people posting their builds on Reddit, and some of them are pretty awesome, so I'm going to be showing you guys one of those recreated builds here today. To start this build off, you're going to be heading straight into the torso section and selecting the Mr. Handy torso. For the front torso armor, you're going to be selecting the hydraulic frame. For the rear armor, you're going to be selecting the hydraulic frame as well, and then for the middle center slot, you're going to be selecting the merciless plate. Moving on to the arms here, for the left arm, you're going to be selecting the Assaultron left armor to begin with. For the left arm armor, you're going to be selecting the factory armor. Then for the weapon, you're going to be selecting the Assaultron left hand claw. For the right arm, it's going to be the same again, Assaultron right arm. For the right arm armor, it's going to be factory armor. And for the right hand weapon, once again, the Assaultron left or right hand claw in this situation. Then for the legs, it's pretty simple. Just add some RoboBrain legs. And for the mid armor, select mid factory armor, and you are pretty much done. From there, simply add a yellow paint, add the voice of your choosing, and you now have a Fallout 4's very own version of Wall-E. Now, once again, very loosely based because Fallout 4 does have its limitations, but I think it's pretty awesome in terms of a recreation in Fallout 4. And now finally, we move on to the last one, which is the Big Daddy from BioShock. Now there's a lot of different builds around the Big Daddy. I'm going to be showing you guys sort of two in the video that are primarily the same, just in terms of armor. There's two pieces that change to make it look a little bit different between both of the builds. But starting off, you're going to be selecting the RoboBrain head with either the Cyclops helmet or the hydraulic frame. Once again, I'll be showing you guys the differences at the very end of the build here. For the torso, it's going to be the Sentry torso, and for the front armor plate, It's either going to be the crawl front plate or the front factory armor. Once again, the differences will be shown towards the end of the video. And then for the back plate, it's always going to be the same, being the actuated back plate. For the arms, you're going to be starting off with the sentry left arm here, as you guys can see by the gameplay there. For the left arm armor, it's going to be the hydraulic armor, and then for the left hand weapon, it's going to be the nail gun, with the hand armor being the hydraulic armor edition. For the right arm this time, you're going to be selecting the sentry one once again, and for the right arm armor, it's going to be hydraulic armor again there as well. And then for the right arm weapon, you're going to be selecting the right drill arm, of course the match up there exactly with the Big Daddy. Finishing it up there with hydraulic armor, and you now have the arms completely done. As for the legs, it's fairly simple, just add Protectron legs with hydraulic armor, and you are pretty much finished. That is the build for the, of course, Big Daddy there. As you can see, here it is with the hydraulic frame helmet, as well as the front factory armor. This is one of the best builds in my opinion, or the better looking ones. And then we have the other one, which is the Cyclops helmet, which is the first one you guys saw, with the crawl front plate there in terms of the torso. So two Big Daddy builds once again, very, very loosely based. For the finishing touches there, I would add a brown paint and any voice to match, but these are very loosely based, and of course it's not going to be an exact match because, as I've said before, it does have its limitations in terms of builds. But anyway, hope you guys did enjoy this video today. If you do want to see more builds like this in the future, maybe like a series where I do get you guys involved, be sure to let me know by leaving a like down below. Your support, of course, is always greatly appreciated on the channel. And of course, if you do want to participate in this, let me know your builds down in the comment section down below. List what it is or the robot you're building, and then list the full build in the description, and you may be featured in the next video. Who knows, depending on, you know, how many videos of these I do make, you may actually be featured in the next episode. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new around, and I'll catch you guys next time with a brand new video. Peace out.